might be.
Let's try that now.
Oh,
There we go.
maybe.
We on?
Maybe.
I guess, can y'all hear me now? Thanks to Sam here.
I think it's working.
Hey, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me now. I think you guys can hear me now. My bad. Good now. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Appreciate that. It was sort of a live stream. I had the wrong comm on there. So anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, folks, what we're watching is we're watching these storms back here to the west. They're saying just below severe levels, as I was mentioning earlier, trying to silently. But anyway, you can see this line coming in from the west to the east. Some of these have been achieving close to severe levels. We saw that in Jackson and DeKalb County, but for the most part, kind of staying just below that. So they're going to get a little noisy. It's going to cause some disruption to travel, especially for the afternoon rush hour. And you see some advisories being put out all the way through Hamilton, through parts of Sequatchie, Dade, Walker, Catoosa. That's what we'll cover here real quickly here. So let's go ahead and reduce me and take a look better at the radar view. Switch that around. You can see that a little bit better. So here's the line that we're watching right now. It is moving off very rapidly off to the east and northeast. There's this advisory for Dade and Walker County. That's going to be out until 4:45 Eastern time. Wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour. And that line moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. So again, it's below severe levels, but still it's going to bring some wind with it, crossing right along the Georgia-Alabama border. If we put a quick tracker on that right here. All right. And we're tracking this line right here in Jackson DeKalb. So if it continues moving northeast, you can see South Pittsburgh around 338. It's already getting rain there now. This line could reach near Chattanooga by 5:13. Dalton around 5:22. Lafayette 3:47. These are all in Eastern time. But again, you can expect some wind gusts with that, heavy rain and lightning. But again, the severe threat is on the low side, but still it's going to be pretty noisy. A lot of wind with it and some heavy downpours of rain accompanying that as well. So let's go down again. Nothing happened in the city yet, but we're watching that line coming in from the south and west. We do have non-severe cells there near Altamont, near Whitwell to Dunlap, and that's going to be moving off to the north and east. So be aware in Dunlap, you have some heavy downpours coming your way. Again, pretty noisy there, the northwestern part of Grundy County. This is the line we're watching right here. If you go from Stevenson to about Henniger, that northern part of Jackson, northern part of DeKalb, and I'll show you the velocity scan here. There's some occasional gusts in there that are pretty strong. Those aren't right there, but they're having some gusts along where that line was bowing out just a little bit more. And when you see that line bowing right here, where it kind of curls out just a bit, I get my cursor right there to Dade, Walker, Chattooga. That's where the wind gusts will be a little bit stronger crossing the state line now. So you can see as it reaches Menlo to Valley Head, pretty heavy downpours there. Coming up and over Lookout Mountain. So Somerville, you got some downpours coming your way, some wind gusts ahead of it. Same thing into parts of Dade and Walker. You go from Trenton down to about Rising Fawn to Lafayette. You're going to have the wind gusts picking up as it comes over the mountain, some heavy downpours. Not a lot of lightning. There have been some strikes back over near the Henniger area. Near Stevenson over around Bridgeport, right near the state line, a couple of lightning strikes there. So be aware of that. When thunder roars, head indoors. You know the rule there. And again, we'll keep an eye on these if they reach severe status. A lot of pockets of heavy rain coming out of Floyd into Chattooga County. I think I said Catoosa a minute ago. I meant Chattooga. Anyway, south of Dalton, pretty good cell here between Villanelle and Dalton. There's the Carbondale Road area. Heavy rain, a lot of lightning with that. So right along 7541. Heavy downpours coming in. Dalton, you got the wind gusts picking up and some heavy downpours of rain. But again, not a particularly severe cell, just pretty noisy. Same thing approaching Ellijay. Heavy rain coming up over the mountains just west of the city there. I'll be sliding into Fannin County near Blue Ridge, into Polk County, just south of 64 over near Parksville Lake. A downpour coming your way. So there's a look at the entire viewing area. So the strongest at the moment is that line right here, curling in from northern Jackson to DeKalb to Chattooga County, heading into Marion County. And that's caused a bit of an advisory, which extends into Hamilton, Dade, Walker, Chattooga through the 5 o'clock hour, as you can expect some strong wind gusts and some heavy downpours of rain. Other storms starting to percolate here. So our overall severe threat is a what we call a level 1 risk, a marginal risk. mainly with some strong wind gust. These are just below severe levels there just a bit, but still can provide some wind, rain, and lightning like we've seen for the past several days. And looking back to the west a bit, there's still some storms back here. These aren't quite as bad. Still a few of those kind of picking back up in the heating of the day as the surface heating still going on. So we're going to have this line roll by between now and 7 o'clock from west to east locally. Then beyond that time, we'll keep an eye on what's going to happen as these storms percolate back through here. I will tell you the Storm Prediction Center's update from earlier this afternoon, they were not going to issue a watch because if anything were to reach severe levels, it'd be very isolated, like we've already seen. As I mentioned earlier, or tried to when my microphone was off. It's Tuesday. Anyway, in DeKalb and Jackson, there was a brief warning there, but then they got downgraded to an advisory. As again, the levels are staying just a little bit below what's considered severe. But with that said, you can see the pockets of lightning. It's pretty noisy out there. Be aware of that lightning threat. The winds are going to pick up in advance of this. Very heavy downpours of rain moving by. With the ground saturated, be aware of excessive runoff in a few spots. Some flash flooding is, the usual spots that tend to show up with that. Do be aware of that. But again, we got the heavier downpour of rain approaching South Pittsburgh to Bridgeport. And it's right along the Georgia-Alabama border. Either just west of Rising Fund and southern parts of Dade near Mentone, Valley Head, or to Menlo and just west of Somerville. So in advance of that line, right through here, wind gusts are picking up quite a bit. And you can see these lines here represent the steering flows. So you can see they're moving right along with these lines from the southwest off to the north and east. It's the general movement that they're going. That's the steering flow. So again, no warnings per se at the moment. There are advisories. It's all because of this line coming in. So in Hamilton County, with that line of storms coming in from the west-southwest, that advisory out to 5:15, meaning that between now and 5:15, some heavy downpours of rain, some wind gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour with that line of storms coming in. And of course, with it being rush hour, slow traffic. Same thing for portions of Dade, Walker, Chattooga. Wind gusts 40 to 50. This is out for about the next 15 minutes, probably a little bit longer than that as it's making its way northeast at 40. A lot of lightning with that, pea-sized hail and gusts 40 to 50. So one more time, we'll do a quick tracker on this line. And we're going to track this leading edge right here along this line. Moving northeast at 40. And you can see just a kind of a timeline here. Lafayette around 4:50. Next 10 minutes, you're probably feeling the breeze coming off the mountain there from Pigeon Mountain. Chattanooga around 5:10. Ooltewah just before 5:30. There are other pockets of showers and storms out here. Staying below severe levels. It's still pretty noisy and heavy downpours of rain. So that is what we're tracking this afternoon. I don't anticipate this lasting all night long, but basically between now and about 7 o'clock, the next 2 hours or so, we'll watch this line move west to east across our viewing area with, again, the risk of heavy downpours, lightning, and at times some strong wind gusts. Borderline severe. If it does become that, it'd be very isolated in nature. Just move on by. All right, folks, that's a brief update on what's happening during this 4 to 5 o'clock hour on this Tuesday afternoon. I apologize for the microphone issue earlier. I'll get that solved. But anyway, please join me again coming up in less than 30 minutes on News Channel 9 starting at 5 o'clock. We'll have a full radar and forecast update as we track these storms and tell you about the chance for storms the next 2 days, followed by a lot of heat as summer officially begins. Stay safe, everybody. Take care and join me again on News Channel 9 starting at 5 o'clock and streaming at newschannel9.com.